Let me start with something that makes people uncomfortable. I've met thousands of very rich people in my life, and most of them were not happy. That surprises people. They think money flips a switch, that once you hit a certain number, peace just shows up. It doesn't. Some of the most anxious, restless, dissatisfied people I've ever known had more money than they could ever spend. And if you're watching this thinking, well, I'd like to test that problem for myself, be careful. Because misunderstanding money late in life is expensive emotionally and financially. Here's what I see over and over again. People spend their whole lives chasing a moving target. First, it's security, then it's comfort, then it's status. And somewhere along the way, they forget to ask why they're doing any of it. I've watched people build impressive fortunes and still live like they're one bad headline away from panic. I've watched people delay joy because they wanted just a little more. And I've watched people reach their 60 seconds and 70 seconds quietly terrified that they wasted their healthiest years worrying about numbers on a screen. If that makes you uneasy, good. Because that discomfort is trying to tell you something. I've had over 70 years to watch how money actually behaves in people's lives. Not in theory, not in textbooks, in real kitchens, real marriages, real retirements. And here's my promise to you. By the end of this video, you'll understand why money fails so many people and how to use it the way it was always supposed to be used. Not to impress anyone, not to win a scoreboard, but to buy peace, freedom, and time before it's too late. Lesson 1. Money solves money problems, nothing else. Here's a simple truth I learned early. Money is excellent at fixing money problems. It is terrible at fixing human problems. I've known people who believed their anxiety would disappear once they hit a certain net worth. It didn't. It just found new places to hide. More money doesn't cure insecurity. It doesn't cure comparison. And it definitely doesn't cure the habit of never feeling enough. What I noticed was this. People who were unhappy before they got rich were usually unhappy after just in bigger houses. Practical takeaway. Don't expect money to repair parts of your life you've been avoiding. Fix those first, or money will amplify them. Lesson 2. The most dangerous word in wealth is more. I've watched people win the game and keep playing. They had enough. They knew it, but they couldn't stop. More returns, more deals, more risk. Not because they needed it, but because stopping felt like admitting the race was over. Here's the irony. The moment you have enough is the moment risk becomes unnecessary. And unnecessary risk is where fortunes and peace of mind go to die. I've seen people trade a secure, joyful life for a chance to feel slightly richer. That's not ambition. That's fear, dressed up as discipline. Practical takeaway. Define what enough means before the market defines it for you. Lesson 3. Happiness has a ceiling. Anxiety does not. This one took me years to fully understand. Your happiness rises with income, but only up to a point. After that, it flattens out, but anxiety scales beautifully. The more complicated your finances become, the more things can go wrong. The more you own, the more you worry about losing it. The more impressive your lifestyle, the harder it is to maintain. I've known people who couldn't enjoy a vacation because they were checking markets every hour. They didn't own their money. Their money owned them. Practical takeaway. Simplicity isn't laziness. It's a competitive advantage for peace. Lesson 4. The richest people I know protect their time, not their ego. Here's something that doesn't get talked about enough. The happiest, wealthy people I know aren't obsessed with returns. They're obsessed with how they spend their days. They eat with people they enjoy. They work on things that still interest them. They say no easily and mean it. Meanwhile, I've watched miserable rich people chase recognition long after it stopped mattering, still proving, still comparing, still keeping score. At a certain age, time becomes the only non-renewable asset, and wasting it to look successful is one of the worst trades you can make. Practical takeaway. If your money isn't buying you more control over your time, it's not doing its job. Myth-busting segment. Let me clear up a few things you've probably been told. Myth has shown. If I just get richer, I'll finally relax. That's wrong. You relax when your life gets simpler, not when your balance sheet gets bigger. Myth #2. More money always means more freedom. No. More obligations, more complexity, and more expectations often come with it. Myth #3. I'll enjoy life later once I'm fully secure. Later is not guaranteed, and I've met too many people who saved joy for a future they never reached. Simple framework. Checklist. Let me give you something practical, something you can actually remember. I call this PEACE. P. Protect what you already have. At this stage of life, avoiding loss matters more than chasing upside. E. Eliminate unnecessary complexity. If you don't understand it, you don't need it. A. Allocate money to buy time and calm. Not status, not noise, peace. C. Cap your definition of enough. Without a ceiling, satisfaction never arrives. E. Enjoy deliberately, without guilt. You don't get bonus points for dying with unused money. Money is a wonderful servant and a terrible master, and I've seen far too many people spend their lives serving it instead of the other way around. If you're fortunate enough to have built some wealth, don't make the mistake of thinking the job isn't finished. Using money wisely is harder than earning it. I didn't measure success by how much I accumulated. I measured it by how little fear my money created. If you want more hard-earned lessons like this, without the sugar coating, subscribe to the channel and don't miss the next one. Because the most expensive mistakes aren't financial, they're the ones you realize too late.